Breaking news for Oklahoma homeowners. Your insurance crisis just became a political battleground, and what happens next could either save you thousands or leave you completely stranded. The fact that it took this long for politicians to notice tells you everything you need to know about how government works. Welcome to Oklahoma House Report. I'm covering something exploding across the state in 2025, one of the biggest political fights Oklahoma has seen in years. Home insurance rates have gotten so out of control that lawmakers are finally being forced to act. But here's the real question. Are they actually going to help you? Or is this just political theater before the 2026 elections? If you want the latest updates on Oklahoma housing and insurance developments as they happen, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. This situation is changing weekly, sometimes daily. Let me paint the picture of where we are right now in 2025. Oklahoma used to be the poster child for affordable living, cheap housing, low cost of living, reasonable expenses across the board. That reputation is officially dead. Home insurance is leading the charge in destroying Oklahoma's affordability, and it's happening so fast that even politicians can't ignore it anymore. We're talking about insurance premiums that have doubled, tripled, sometimes quadrupled in just the past 3 years. I'm hearing from people whose insurance bills are now higher than their actual mortgage payments. Think about that for a second. You're paying more to insure your house than you're paying to own it. That's a fundamental breakdown of how home ownership is supposed to work. So what's happening behind closed doors in Oklahoma City? Lawmakers are getting absolutely destroyed by angry constituents. Phone calls, emails, social media messages, town hall confrontations. People are furious, and they're making sure their representatives know it. And here's what makes this different. This is completely bipartisan. Rising insurance costs don't care if you vote red or blue. When your premium jumps from $150 a month to $450 a month, you're angry no matter what party you support. That's why this issue has legs. The legislature has been holding interim study sessions throughout 2025. These are investigative hearings where lawmakers bring in experts, grill regulators, and try to figure out what's causing this crisis. The House held sessions, the Senate held sessions, and the same themes kept coming up. Insurance companies keep raising rates, the insurance commissioner keeps approving those increases, consumers keep getting crushed, and nobody seems to have a clear answer for how to fix it. But here's what's significant. Lawmakers are now talking about introducing serious consumer protection legislation for the 2026 session. That means new laws, new regulations, new rules that insurance companies would have to follow. Whether those protections actually help you or just make politicians look good before an election, well, that's the million-dollar question. Gentner Drummond, Oklahoma's Attorney General, has been publicly expressing concerns about homeowner insurance rates throughout 2025. Drummond is also running for governor, which tells you everything you need to know about how important this issue has become. Insurance policy doesn't usually win elections. It's boring, it's technical. But when enough voters are getting hammered by premium increases, politicians start paying attention real fast. Drummond getting involved signals that this isn't just a temporary complaint that'll blow over. This is going to be a major campaign issue heading into 2026. Every candidate for governor, every candidate for state legislature, they're all going to have to answer tough questions about what they plan to do about insurance rates. So what's actually driving these insane rate increases? The official reasons you'll hear from insurance companies are pretty standard, more severe weather events, inflation, rising property values, higher construction material costs. Some of these are legitimate. Some are convenient excuses that don't hold up under scrutiny. Let's start with severe weather. Yes, Oklahoma gets tornadoes, hailstorms, and high winds. We always have. That's not new. But here's what's interesting. The data doesn't actually support the claim that Oklahoma weather has gotten dramatically worse compared to other states that have much lower insurance rates. States with similar weather patterns aren't seeing the same explosive rate increases that Oklahoma is experiencing. Inflation? That one's real. Everything costs more in 2025 than it did in 2022. When it costs more to rebuild your home after a loss, insurance companies have to charge more to cover that risk. Rising property values and higher construction material costs are also legitimate factors. But here's what nobody in the insurance industry wants to talk about. Oklahoma's regulatory environment is extremely hands-off. Critics are pointing out that Oklahoma basically lets insurance companies do whatever they want with minimal oversight. And that lack of regulation is a huge part of why rates keep climbing so aggressively. And hey, if you're finding this information valuable, drop a like to help other Oklahoma homeowners discover this. The more people who understand what's really happening, the more pressure we can put on lawmakers to actually fix this problem. Now let's talk about Glenn Mulready, Oklahoma's insurance commissioner. Mulready has appeared before lawmakers multiple times in 2025, and he's been getting grilled hard. Lawmakers want answers. Why do rates keep going up? What is your office doing to protect consumers? Why are you approving every rate increase that insurance companies request? Mulready's stated goal as insurance commissioner is to make sure Oklahoma's insurance market remains competitive. Notice what he didn't say, that his goal is to keep rates affordable for consumers. That's a very careful choice of word. A competitive market sounds good in theory, but here's the problem. When you have a competitive market with minimal regulation, insurance companies compete by cherry-picking the best customers and dumping the risky ones. They compete by finding creative ways to deny claims. That kind of competition doesn't help consumers. Critics are saying that Mulready's office has been far too friendly to insurance companies and not nearly aggressive enough in protecting Oklahoma homeowners. They're pointing out that Oklahoma approves rate increases faster and with less scrutiny than almost any other state. Mulready has been defending Oklahoma's regulatory approach by saying that heavy-handed regulation would drive insurance companies out of the state entirely. He's pointing to states like California and Florida, where aggressive regulation has caused some insurers to pull out completely. That's a real concern. If you regulate too aggressively, insurance companies can just leave. But if you don't regulate enough, insurance companies can charge whatever they want. Right now, Oklahoma is clearly tilted way too far toward letting insurance companies do whatever they want. So what's the actual solution? There are several proposals being discussed for the 2026 legislative session. First, there's talk of requiring more transparency in how insurance companies calculate rates. Right now, the rate approval process is pretty opaque. More transparency would at least let consumers and lawmakers understand why rates are going up. Second, some lawmakers are proposing stronger consumer protection rules around claim denials and policy cancellations. Right now, insurance companies can drop you for almost any reason with minimal explanation. Third, there's discussion about creating a state-backed insurance option for homeowners who can't get coverage in the private market. It's not ideal, but it's better than having no insurance at all. Fourth, some legislators are talking about reforms to Oklahoma's legal system that would make it harder to file certain types of insurance lawsuits. Insurance companies claim that Oklahoma's legal environment encourages frivolous lawsuits. Consumer advocates say that limiting lawsuits would just make it easier for insurance companies to deny legitimate claims without consequences. That's probably the most controversial proposal. Here's what you need to understand about timing. Nothing is going to change immediately. Even if lawmakers pass new regulations in the 2026 session, those changes would take months to implement. Your rates aren't going to drop overnight. But the fact that lawmakers are finally taking this seriously is actually significant. Politicians respond to pressure. If enough Oklahoma voters make it clear that insurance rates are a top priority, then politicians will have to deliver actual solutions instead of just talking points. So what should you do right now while all this political drama is playing out? First, shop around aggressively. Don't just accept whatever rate increase your current insurance company throws at you. Get quotes from multiple companies. Second, consider increasing your deductible. A higher deductible means lower premiums. Obviously, you need to make sure you have enough savings to cover that higher deductible if something happens. Third, look into whether you qualify for any discounts. Many insurance companies offer discounts for security systems, storm shelters, roof upgrades, bundling multiple policies. Make sure you're taking advantage of every discount available. Fourth, document everything. If your insurance company denies a claim or cancels your policy, keep detailed records. Take photos, save emails, document every conversation. Fifth, stay informed about what's happening legislatively. Pay attention to what your representatives are saying about insurance reform. Contact them and let them know this is a priority for you. And finally, be prepared for the possibility that things might get worse before they get better. Insurance companies know that regulation is coming. Some of them might try to push through even bigger rate increases now, while they still can. Here's the bottom line. Oklahoma's home insurance crisis is real, it's serious, and it's finally getting the political attention it deserves. Whether that attention translates into actual solutions that help you, that's still an open question. We're going to be watching very closely as the 2026 legislative session approaches. This is going to be a defining issue for Oklahoma politics over the next year. Whoever wins the governor's race, whoever controls the legislature, they're going to be judged on whether they can actually do something about insurance rates or if they just talk a good game while rates keep climbing. Thanks for watching Oklahoma House Report. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you're subscribed for more urgent updates on Oklahoma housing and insurance developments. Drop a comment and let me know what your insurance situation looks like. I'll see you in the next one.